You're listening to the Plant-Based, Not Perfect podcast, where we talk about striving for our healthiest selves while living in the real world. So, let's get into it. Welcome to episode number 24. Before I get into today's episode, I wanted to tell you about a new grocery shopping series I'm doing on my blog over at hotandhealthy.com. I'm sharing my entire weekly grocery list as a free printable for you guys with all of the amounts of the items that I buy with the cost to help you in planning out your meals for the week and to help with shopping on a budget. So my traditional grocery hauls last for a full work week for 2 people, and they generally cost around $115. And what I do in the blog post is I give you the printable, or you can save it as a JPEG on your phone. And then I include everything that I make from it to give you meal ideas and some recipe ideas, and then which ones make enough for leftovers, etc. So I give you all the details every week to help you with meal inspiration and how to keep eating plant-based, mainly organic, but keeping it affordable for you guys. So that's the latest series that I'm doing on my blog every week, and I've been getting really great feedback on that. So if it's something that you're enjoying, please reach out and let me know. So today we're going to be talking about healthy food swaps on some of the most common items we all eat, so I can offer you the healthiest alternatives to buy if you don't have time to make your own, and also some DIY options for them. If you guys have food swaps you want me to cover in the future, just direct message me through Instagram at hothealthy and let me know. Today we're going to be focusing on coffee creamers, salad dressings, and my favorite, soups. So starting with creamers. If you guys listen to this podcast, you most likely aren't drinking real milk anymore, but you might still use plant-based creamers or plant-based milks in your coffee, and their labeling can be really misleading. And for many of them, even though they don't contain milk, they're not real foods. They're basically a science experiment with food colorings and additives and oils and chemicals and sugars. So there's so many new plant-based milk options on the market. So kind of what I wanted to talk about today was which brands are the healthiest options and what ingredients you really want to stay away from when you're reading the labels on these plant-based milks and creamers. So one of the first ingredients that we want to stay away from is carrageenan. And the second one is gums. You will see if you read the ingredients on a lot of these creamers and milks that it says like guar gums or weird gum names that you can't pronounce. So I wanted to break down today what carrageenan is and why we don't want to be having that in any of our products, but especially in our creamers and our milk. So carrageenan is a red seaweed. It helps with gelling or thickening a product. And of course, it's approved by the FDA, which basically doesn't mean anything. So carrageenan was tested on several different lab animals over a long-term use, and most of the animals developed colitis and tumors. Further research has indicated that this food additive can lead to leaky gut, because essentially it triggers an immune reaction leading to inflammation in the gastrointestinal system. So if you experience digestive issues and you feel like you eat really clean and you don't know where they're coming from, I might look at what creamers I'm using, or if I make smoothies and coffee and I'm putting, almond milk in it, I would read the labels on the milks that you're using and see if they have carrageenan in it. Lately, I've been seeing more and more options that are kind of announcing on the front that they're carrageenan free, which is great, but they are in other processed products. So I would just pay attention, make sure you read your labels. But I wanted to go over the why of why we don't want that ingredient in our milks. And then the second one is gums. So even in plant-based options, almond milks, soy milks, coconut milks, most of them have gums in them, which can also be harsh if you have a weak digestive system and can cause bloating and gas. So those are the two main things that you want to stay away from. And if you look at the ingredients on most of the options, they all have either one or both of those in them. So if you're looking at them and you're not sure which brand to buy, I wanted to go through the ones that I have found to be the cleanest options. And one of the first ones is the Elmhurst brand. I will link to all of this in the show notes and on my blog, but we use the Elmhurst brand. They have a cashew option, an oat option, and a few others, and we get it at Fresh Market. I really like it. It doesn't have either of those two ingredients. It's very clean. You can pronounce everything. The only thing it does have is it says natural flavors, which who the hell knows what that means. So it's not 100% perfect, but out of all the ones that I look at the ingredients, that's the cleanest one out of the rest of them. So I recommend that one. The next creamer option that I recommend that's clean is Laird Superfood Creamer. You can buy that on Amazon, and I have posted about it before. It is a little bit more expensive though, so it's not for everyone's budget, but it literally has, coconut oil in it, coconut sugar, and there's no nasty ingredients, no weird chemicals. So I do like Laird's Superfood Creamer as an option. The next one I wanted to mention was, of all the milks at Trader Joe's, there's only one that I would buy, and it is a soy milk. And there's two ingredients in it. It's organic soybeans and water. So if you haven't listened, I have a podcast where I do answer my opinion on soy. Personally, I'm not afraid of soy, especially if it's one serving you're having in your coffee. And that's a very clean option. If you're comparing all of your milks, that one only has two ingredients. You can pronounce everything. There's nothing funky in it. So personally, I don't think it's a bad option to choose. The other brand I wanted to mention that I see a lot of people post about is Oatly. And Oatly, I looked up the ingredients. It looks to be free from any of these bad ingredients that I was speaking about, but not everyone does well with oats. And Oatly has rapeseed oil in it, which sounds terrible, just the name of it. But rapeseed oil is basically canola oil. And you know how I feel about oils, and it can be inflammatory. So again, if you have digestive issues, I would probably stay away from almost all of these processed milk options and try to make your own milk at home, because then you know what's going in it. There's no weird oils or gums or any kind of additives that are going to cause digestive issues with you. So that leads me to the cleanest option when you're looking for creamers or plant-based milks. So what I typically do is I make my own, and I will take a half a cup of either oats, almonds, cashews, or walnuts, whatever I have in my pantry, and I will blend it with 1 cup of filtered water, or I will add a date, or I'll do a tablespoon of maple syrup. So that kind of sweetens it. You could add cinnamon, you could add pumpkin spice and make your own pumpkin spice creamer. And basically then I strain it, because it's going to have like chunky residue left in it because you just blended it. And then I will strain it and I will froth it like I would normally for a plant-based milk to make a latte. And this makes 1 to 2 servings. So it's free from gums or any weird ingredients. If you have digestive issues and you're hesitant about even making your own because it has nuts or oats, I would definitely recommend soaking the nuts or the oats the night before you blend it, just to activate the enzymes in it and kind of remove those from it so that it then doesn't cause you digestive issues. So that is kind of my tip on that. But making your own is super simple, you guys. I used to think it was so difficult. I never tried it. And then now when I'm really needing it and we don't have Laird's or we don't have the Elmhurst one, I just whip up my own, and you can store it in the fridge. You can make more servings of it and use it during the week, and it still froths and is creamy. So I highly recommend that. Next up on the list is salad dressings. So similar to creamers, most salad dressings have a lot of ingredients we cannot pronounce. They've got a lot of sugars. They're high in really cheap oils like canola oil, rapeseed oil, such a weird name. So I gave up buying store-bought salad dressings a few years ago, just the cleaner that I got with my diet. But if you are wanting to know the cleanest options, I would obviously always read the ingredients, make sure that you can pronounce everything. So here are the cleaner salad dressing options that I have found. Trader Joe's has 2 in their refrigerated section. There's the green goodness dressing and then the carrot ginger miso dressing. They both have a little bit of oil in them, but everything else you can pronounce. There's no nasty chemicals, no sugars added, and no gums. So those are both 2 very clean options that I would recommend. But otherwise, even the ones that you kind of think are healthier really aren't. So I kind of just stay away from all the store-bought ones that sit on a shelf for a long time, and I will make my own. So I will post these dressing recipes on my blog, and I have a bunch of no oil dressings in my ebook if you're interested. But for the basic salad dressing, I will just take some clean olive oil, lemon juice, and nutritional yeast, and I will whisk that together, and that is my salad dressing. So I keep it very simple. I also have been using one lately that I created. It's a honey mustard dressing, and that is 1/4 cup Dijon mustard, 1/4 cup maple syrup, and a tablespoon of vegan mayo. And you whisk that together, and it tastes just like regular honey mustard dressing. Another one we like that we make and put on tacos or we'll put on salads is a cilantro dressing. So basically you just do equal parts vegan mayo, cilantro, and lemon juice, and you blend it, and that makes a dressing. And then the last one I wanted to mention, which I post about pretty frequently, is a vegan Caesar salad dressing. And that is 1/4 cup hummus, 1 teaspoon mustard, 3 tablespoons lemon juice, 2 teaspoons capers, plus some caper juice in there, salt and pepper, and 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. And I don't even blend that. I just whisk it in a bowl, and then I top my salads with it, and it's amazing. And I will write out all of these recipes for you guys and post them on the blog post that goes with this podcast episode. But it can be overwhelming thinking about making your own milks and your own salad dressings, but I can assure you, just finding kind of your favorite and starting really simply. After that, you just kind of get inventive and try different things out. If I'm wanting something particular, I'll just Google, say that I want ranch dressing. I will Google a vegan ranch dressing that has the most few ingredients and just kind of wing my own recipe from that. And that's how I end up coming up with few ingredient vegan recipes. But with salad dressings, when you read the ingredients that are in most, mainstream salad dressings, it's pretty scary. So I think for salad dressings, it's very important to try to make your own. Next on the list for today is my personal favorite, soups. But unfortunately, soups are not created equal. Most creamy soups have milk powder, or cream in them, especially like tomato soups. I see you think they're a healthy brand, but then you read the ingredients and they usually have cream in them. So they're just rarely ever vegan. But I think the best bet is to just stick with vegetable-based soups and always read the ingredients. Most of the soups contain oils, cane sugar, and quote, natural flavors, which they don't tell you what that means. So I would just look out for those ingredients. And when you are looking at a soup, if you can pronounce everything and it's all organic vegetables, then you know it's a good option. So for soups, the cleanest options that I wanted to mention are Dr. McDougall has 100% vegan options that are great. You can order them online. I've seen them in Fresh Market before as well, and at Whole Foods. The next option I wanted to mention is Amy's Organic. They have a lot of soups. Their light sodium vegetable-based soups are all pretty good. They're pretty clean. So sometimes when I'm in a pinch, if I go to Publix to buy my lunch, or I'm even at like CVS or Walgreens, they even carry Amy's Organic. So those are a cleaner option. Pacific Organic has some clean options, but make sure you read the labels. Don't just assume, like with Amy's Organic, I used to just assume that they were all really clean. But if you read the ingredients, some are definitely better than others. So you want to always pay attention to your labels. And then the other soup I wanted to mention is at Trader Joe's in their refrigerated section. There's a lentil soup, and that is extremely clean. All of the ingredients you can pronounce. There's nothing weird in it. And sometimes it's a good work hack that I will bring that to work, and then I will pour it in a bowl and add hot water to kind of make it go further. And you can get like 2 bowls of soup out of the one lentil soup container. So that brings me to the cleanest soup options, which is obviously making your own soup. There's so many soup recipes out there, so I'm not going to go too in depth on this, but my personal favorite that we make on a weekly basis is my easy lentil soup. I have this step-by-step recipe on the highlights of my Instagram, and I break down the recipe in my ebook, but essentially you just need vegetable broth, garlic, onions, red lentils. I like the ones from Trader Joe's. They're $2. They're already open lentils, so they cook really creamy, and those are my favorite. And then we like to add kale or spinach to it, and then we squeeze lemon juice over it, and that's it, you guys. Those are the only ingredients in it. It's really easy to make. I double the batch so we can have it for more than one night. We can bring it for lunch if we want. And again, just like milks and salad dressings, I used to think making soup was really difficult, but once you kind of find your favorite soup and you've made it a couple times, it gets so simple that sometimes now I question why I never tried it before. But the easy lentil soup is our favorite. We have it every week. So definitely check that one out. I think you guys will enjoy it if you have not tried it yet. So those are the top 3 food swaps that I wanted to cover today. If there are additional ones that you guys are interested in, let me know and send me a message on Instagram. So to end today's episode, I wanted to talk about ingestible collagen powders. Is it a myth or is it real? So many nutritionists and doctors are coming out and sharing their opinions on collagen powders and saying that basically your stomach acid breaks down the collagen proteins before they reach the skin intact. So basically, there's not a promise that just because you're ingesting collagen powder that it's going to go to where it needs to go and make your skin look more beautiful. So just because a food contains something doesn't mean your body will absorb or produce more of it. So the studies that are done so far on collagen are really small and at least partially funded by industry, which basically means that you can't be sure if you can trust it. So really they just don't know yet. And I think it's one of those issues that just get it from real foods. If you are worried about collagen production, you still eat seafood, just eat wild salmon. Like all these powders and these supplements, they're heavily processed, and then you put them in your body and you don't even know if you're getting anything from it. So I personally shy away from anything like this. I know it's kind of a trend right now, and that's why I wanted to speak about it. And another important issue when we're talking about collagen powders is safety. Collagen powder is ground up fish, chicken, pig, cow parts, and these types of animal products tend to act as sponges for contaminants and heavy metals. So I think we have all learned that we don't want to pick up any weird contaminated diseases or adding heavy metal loads to our system, which is going to lead to autoimmune conditions and diseases in the future. So not only do we not really know, and it hasn't been proven that it definitely works, it's just ground up body parts of animals, and there's so many other issues that could come along with that. So those are the reasons that I do not take a collagen powder. And something else I found when I was researching it is just that a lot of these collagen powders claim that they are combined with a probiotic or fiber. And something that happens when you're getting that is it could interact with the collagen and also change how it works. So don't buy into trends and fads. You want to think like you do with your food, of just eating simply, getting everything from your food, and making sure that you're eating a clean, plant-based, whole foods diet, and it's going to help your skin and give you glowing skin without having to worry about contaminants and weird heavy metals, and just whether or not you're throwing money down the drain to try to get something out of a powder. So I will link to some of the studies that I found when researching this, but I just wanted to cover it today because I know that it's extremely popular, and I wanted to share my opinion on this with you guys.